Now, there's breaking news coming in. The opposition seems to be divided over the Uniform Civil Code. Himachal Pradesh Minister Vikramaditya Singh has offered full support for the Uniform Civil Code, but questions the BJP's timing, appearing to go against the party line. Himachal Pradesh PWD Minister Vikramaditya Singh on Friday extended his full support for the Uniform Civil Code while urging against its politicization. On Facebook, the Congress leader said in Hindi, "I fully support the Uniform Civil Code, which is necessary for India's unity and integrity, but it should not be politicized." He had questioned why the NDA government at the centre did not implement such a law when it enjoyed a complete majority in Parliament for 9 years. And also saying, why is there propaganda on it just a few months before the elections? That is the Facebook statement that's been released by this Himachal Pradesh PWD Minister Vikramaditya Singh. Now, it's also important to note that just a few days ago, remember, this entire debate has been simmering for the last few days. We'll just cross over to our senior editor, Pallavi Ghosh, to get us more details on this. Pallavi, so it seems to be a bit of a divide within the Congress, considering they haven't clarified their stance yet. This Himachal minister is coming out in support of the Uniform Civil Code.
So he's also Pratibha Singh's son, who's considered to be opposed to the Himachal Chief Minister Sukhwinder Singh Sukhu. I think apart from the fact that he is actually attacking the BJP on the timing of bringing the UCC bill, the bigger worry for the Congress party is that many within the party like him seem to be supporting the idea of the UCC. Congress officially has yet to make up its mind on what its stand going to be. But unofficially and by way of sources, they have been telling us that we cannot support the entire idea of the Uniform Civil Code in totality. There are certain segments of it which are problematic. For example, the rights of the tribals, and of course some of the minorities. That's also something a concern area. And there's a very thin dividing line of a uniform civil code and also not intruding into the personal laws or religious practices. That's a reason why the Congress party is waiting for the bill to be out. So before that, you have a Congress leader, also a minister from Himachal Pradesh, who is openly coming out in support of UCC. This will embolden the BJP because it's a Hindu state, as we know. Hinduism is the mainstay of the Himachal Pradesh, Dev Bhumi as it's called. It's also a state in which the BJP president comes in from. And this difference of opinion within the Congress party will be used by the BJP to attack the Congress.
Could you also explain why the July 3rd meeting of the parliamentary panel on this is so important?
The parliamentary panel meeting is scheduled for 3rd, and normally for every bill, before any bill, or even after that, or to formulate a policy, a parliamentary committee, which is the department parliamentary committee, meets. In this case, it's of course what to do with law board. So what is going to happen over there is going to be important because they're not just the BJP leader, who is Sushil Kumar Modi, who heads the committee, but also the Trinamool Congress, the Congress leaders as well. And at some point of time, they may have to kind of express their party line. More than that, the stakeholders, the law commission, they are also going to come out. This can become the path to preparing the draft bill, which the parliament will certainly ideally want to introduce in the monsoon session of parliament.
Absolutely. As you just mentioned, the introduction of the bill, which might happen in the monsoon session of the parliament, what could we see? This is something that we've also talked about over the last few days while this debate has simmered. What could we see take place, considering there are 10 plus parties which are opposing it? So what could actually happen in the monsoon session of parliament?
So in Lok Sabha, there's no problem for the BJP should they bring in the bill because of the sheer numbers they have. In Rajya Sabha, as we know, the opposition nearly has the numbers, but that's where the division comes in. I mean, for example, the Shiv Sena unit has decided to support it. The Aam Aadmi Party also has decided to support it. There are parties like the BRS, the YSR Congress, the BJD who usually tilts towards the government. So in terms of numbers, eventually the BJP has its way. We saw in the case of the Triple Talaq bill, which was equally contentious and was opposed the same grounds on which the UCC is being opposed.
And what's the latest that's happening with the Uttarakhand government and preparing a draft bill?
The latest is that yesterday the Uttarakhand Uniform Civil Code Commission presented its report. So the draft should be, the bill must be prepared, and they also want to bring it in the monsoon session. The main points of the draft bill is something which we have been pointing out. The key areas, they've met over 2.5 lakh respondents. That's where they got the opinion. And, the marriage age, according to the government, the central law, that marriage age is 18 plus for women. But according to Sharia, it's allowed at 13 plus. That's also one thing which the UCC wants to do away with because there are health reasons which are cited why a woman or a child this young should not get married. live-in couples. That's also another important area. The concern is over certain of the tribal belts in Uttarakhand. Will this encroach on their personal law? But more or less, the UCC or the State Commission of the UCC has kind of given this input, which the government is likely to take up, and that is essentially got to do with the marriage age, the rights of a woman, the property rights of woman or a girl child in Hindu undivided family.
Absolutely, Pallavi. Thank you so much for giving us that very important